The midnight shift. Jacop Marlet had only been working at St. Alderon's hospital for 6 weeks. Located on the outskirts of town, the hospital was old, grim, and carried a legacy of whispers, stories told in break rooms and exchanged between trembling lips by staff who'd seen too much and slept too little. Jacop was assigned to the graveyard shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., when the halls fell silent and the flickering fluorescent lights cast shadows that moved when nothing else did. St. Alderon's had a wing B that no one talked about. It was closed after a fire 10 years ago, but for some reason, the power there was never shut off. Doors still opened, lights still turned on, and according to the older nurses, that wing was the heart of the hospital's darkness. Jacop, a skeptic by nature, dismissed it all. Ghost stories were, in his opinion, just the human mind trying to explain the unexplainable. Until one night, 1:17 a.m., Monday, Jacop was reviewing patient charts in the nurses' station when he noticed something strange on the hallway monitor. Room B13 in the sealed-off wing had triggered motion detection. He paused. "No one's assigned there," he muttered, frowning. The door to Wing B was locked. The fire-damaged area was deemed unsafe, though rumors claimed it was because a patient had died screaming in that very room. Against his better judgment, Jacop grabbed a flashlight and a key card and headed toward the forbidden corridor. 1:24 a.m., Wing B. The second he stepped into Wing B, the air grew thick, cold and heavy, like stepping underwater. The emergency lights cast a sickly green glow. Paint peeled from the walls. The scent of mold and charred wood filled the air. As he passed room B10, he heard it. Soft sobbing. It was faint but unmistakable. Female, slow and broken. He stopped. "Hello? Is someone in here?" he called. No answer, but the crying continued, growing louder as he approached room B13. His hand trembled as he gripped the doorknob. Room B13. The door creaked open. The room was cold, unnaturally cold. He could see his breath fog in front of him. The flashlight flickered even though the batteries were fresh. In the far corner, facing the wall, stood a woman in a tattered hospital gown. Her long black hair hung down past her shoulders, soaked and stringy. "Ma'am, you're not supposed to be here," Jacop said gently. The woman didn't respond. He stepped closer. "Are you hurt? Let me help." Suddenly she turned. Her face was a horrific void. No eyes, no mouth, just skin stretched tight where features should be. Jacop stumbled back, slamming into a table, knocking over a metal tray with a loud clang. The woman screamed, a high, inhuman wail that echoed through the entire wing. Blood began pouring from her featureless face, dripping onto the floor, forming words. "Stay!" Jacop fled. 1:41 a.m., main hallway. Back at the nurse's station, he was shaking. No one believed him. The cameras in Wing B were offline due to interference. His supervisor rolled her eyes and warned him not to enter restricted areas again. But Jacop knew what he saw. He considered quitting. He should have. 3 nights later, 3:03 a.m., Jacop was restocking supplies when he heard it again. The sobbing. This time not from a monitor, not from a screen, but from right down the hall. He turned, and there she was. The woman, standing at the end of the hallway. No face, no sound, just stillness. Jacop blinked. She vanished. That same night, room 209, a patient recovering from minor surgery, flatlined unexpectedly. When they checked the body, it was cold, too cold for someone who just died, and scratched into the skin of the patient's chest, written in jagged letters. I see you. The final night. 2 a.m. Jacop tried to call in sick. His phone wouldn't dial out. When he drove to the hospital to submit a resignation, his car refused to start in the parking lot. But when he tried to leave, the front doors of the hospital wouldn't open. It was as if something wanted him to stay. He wandered the corridors in panic, begging the night staff to let him go, but none of them responded. They just stared at him, glassy-eyed, silent. He ran to the security office. The monitors showed room B13, live. The woman was in there, waiting, facing the camera, her head tilted. And then slowly, so terribly slowly, she raised her hand and pointed, straight at the screen, straight at him. Jacop screamed. He was never seen again. When police were called, they found no signs of struggle. His belongings were still in his locker, his ID badge lying on the floor of Wing B. Room B13 was empty, clean, as if no one had entered it in years. But every now and then, the staff say you can hear him, running down the halls, screaming. And in room B13, behind the locked door, a shadow stands in the corner, facing the wall, waiting. Some doors should never be opened. Some shifts you never return from.